Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Jack and Glenn channel. Before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews. Today, I'm reviewing Ready to Love. Make a Move, episode number 4, right? Episode number 4. Once again, hit that subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, we give great reviews on Married at First Sight, Ready to Love. Today's Ready to Love. Hit the subscribe button, bell notification so you don't miss anything. We left off at episode number 3 with Ashley crying, being upset because she has to make a decision, right? She has to make an emotional decision about who's her keeper and who she's going to let go. We see Ashley as she's sitting there and she's talking to Donald, and Donald can see that she's emotionally upset, that she's mostly emotionally stressed, right? He does something which is great in relationships. He said, "Look, let me hold your hand." He holds her hand, and as he holding her hand, um, he told her, he admits, like, I failed you, right? Your line of communication is you wanted me to be more vocal, you wanted me to communicate more, you want me to show more initiative and more action towards you, and I failed you, right? And he said, I won't do it again. I'll be better at it. I will do it. I think dude genuinely really cared about Ashley, right? He really liked her. It wasn't for play, but that's just wasn't his communication style, right? He didn't go above and beyond. She wanted somebody to go above and beyond what she's asking. Did I had to talk to Jack about this, right? We talked about it, and his communication skills, or we have kids. My kids' communication skills, they text, right? They want to text. They don't really call, and he may just be a texter. I didn't even think about calling, and you gotta assume that, right? That this generation, there's people who just text. There are people who don't make just phone calls or don't do both. And I think this is where he got caught up at. He got caught up with the fact that he didn't go above and beyond the her expectations, right? Her expectations, and his form of communication is texting. But she wanted him to be at her form of communication, which is a smoke signal, email, Snapchat, Instagram, whatever. She wanted him to be there, and he wasn't there, and she didn't really communicate that to after the fact. Ashley shared that she's been hurt and that she's moving in a new direction, and she let him go. Um, Donald's hurt by this, right? You can see that he's emotionally upset. He really wanted to be with Ashley, but again, in relationship, she Ashley, in my opinion, needs some healing. She needs a lot of healing. She got the healing. She has the whole incident with Alex, the lack of communication, not being truthful, and her expectation is whoever I'm in a relationship with, I need them to communicate with me fully. Totally get it. Totally understand it. Her decision. Not saying she's right, wrong, or indifferent. Just saying, pointing out the fact is that this right here caused her a lot of anguish, caused her a lot of it triggered a lot of things in her, right? To make her make this decision. And she really liked Donald. You can see the hurt and the torment behind her decision that she really cared about. So she lets Donald go. Donald's hurt by this. He told her, look, I'm grateful that I met you. And he moves on. We see Dr. Tamika come in and she meets with Ashley. They talk about Ashley being vulnerable, right? Ashley mentioned that she does not, that she didn't want to hurt Donald, but she wanted to move on with Kirsten because she wanted something different. She wanted to see something new. Um, some may say, well, because Kirsten was a little bit taller, right? Because the energy level was different, or more was different. That her and Donald didn't have that type of laughter and joking that her and Kirsten had on their first date, right? The energy was there. So we see that. So that we move on from there. We move on to Venetia, right? Venetia goes out with another man. She goes out with a gentleman named Gary. Gary's 45 years old. Gary says he's in transportation, but they say he's a podcaster, right? He also dabbles and dabbles in podcasts, YouTube, things of that nature. Um, Gary, she likes Gary. I mean, she thinks Gary looks nice. He has nice skin. He has a nice complexion. According to Venetia, Gary is a father of 2 boys. He has a 15-year-old. He has a 14-year-old. He is also, like I mentioned, he's in transportation. He's pretty ambitious, right? He's ambitious in the things that he does. He's an entrepreneur. Fatherhood means a lot to him. Um, Her fatherhood means a lot to them. They have that much in common, right? They're both parents. One thing that was funny when they meeting, Gary kept saying they were on a meeting. Can we meet again? She's like, boy, we can go on a date, right? It's a date, right? Can we date again? Gary was he wasn't Jabari. He had good conversation with her, and once and again they had in common the kids in common, the complexion she liked. Wasn't too deep into this segment with Gary and Benicia. Just thought it was just another date that they put together because they had to do another date. Then we move on. We'll see Zadia and Sharice. Zadia and Sharice finally have a conversation, right? This conversation that Zadia and Sharice has, they're both sitting out on the porch of the house. And Sharice kind of initiates the conversation, which I was surprised, right? I thought Sharice was done with this whole situation with her and Zadia. But Sharice says she's been talking to the Lord, her and the Lord Jesus Christ. Now she did mention that she has been praying about the situation. It took a lot of prayer for her to get to this point where she's at now to go talk to Zadia, and so her and Zadia can come to a conclusion or come to a resolution in the situation. Zadia said, "Look, Sharice said she doesn't trust easily, right? She don't trust a lot of people, and she talks about her being bullied as a kid, and that's why she doesn't trust anybody. Her being bullied as a kid when she was younger, and it triggers her, right? It makes her anxious. It makes her more boisterous. It makes her not let anybody try to run over her or try anybody take advantage of her. Again, that's a trigger, right? It's been years that you've gotten bullied and she has not overcome the fact that she has been bullied. So now she has her defenses up. She has her wall up. She wants to make sure that nobody ever hurts her again. So that's why you see what you see from Sharice. She's going gun ho, right? You come after me, I'm coming after you, and I'm gonna get you before you get me. So we're just not even gonna agree to disagree. And we saw that even in the midst of this apology resolution situation, she just wanted to die. Right? She just wanted to squash it, and they still couldn't see eye to eye. Zadia was like, we're just gonna squash it. Let it be squashed. Sharice like, let it be squashed. But they still don't trust each other, right? They're just going to be cordial to each other. They're going to be relaxing to each other. To me, I didn't think too much got solved. We did see more of an inside of Sharice, why she feel the way she feel. We saw Zadia, talk to Sharice like, hey, you called me a mean girl. You did this, you did that. And Sharice said, well, I only did that after you called me a B and you did this. So again, you have two women who are both alpha females, right? And they can't see eye to eye or have a resolution in a peaceful manner. That's what it is. I think I don't think it's over with them two. I think we'll see them two clash again. Don't want them to clash. Because that's not what the show's about, right? The show's about them finding love and finding a relationship. Not necessarily being friends with one another, but being in the same house, being respectful, treating each other with dignity, respect, and being able to maneuver in this relationship thing. And we'll see. The squash was kind of okay. I thought it was good for Sharice and big for Sharice to go out there and try to talk to Zadia to resolve it. They did resolve it in peace. They had great conversation. It was a peaceful conversation. It is what it is. Beef is squashed right now. Then we see next scene. We see Zadia goes out on a date with Ramon. You may remember Ramon. Ramon went out with Benicia. He is the ex-basketball player. They didn't have anything for him, and Benicia didn't have anything in common because he didn't have much experience with dating. Right? Didn't have much experience with dating. He was overseas playing basketball all the time. So Zadia goes out with him after. They bring him back. They go out. They go on a date where they go play pool to a pool hall, right? They're laughing. Their interaction. She's attracted to him. He's tall like a tree. And she says she don't mind climbing trees, right? And she hasn't climbed a tree in a while. If you don't know, Zadia mentioned that she has been celibate since June of 2022, and so she right now has like for Ramon, she wanted to see where the conversation goes. He didn't know how to play pool, and so he went and tried to ask, do you want to put your arms around me and help me? She's like, nah, boy. He said, look, at least I tried, right? So he is attracted to her physically. He wanted her to touch him. And then, and like I said, you'll see here, she asked him what his home life was like. He said he's a country boy. He's from the country. He's been around. He's a country boy, right? So he's been doing a lot of things in the country. He's also been around the world. He's well traveled. He mentioned that he has 17 cats. Yeah, stop right now. Let me let you process that. Oh, no. All right. After you process 17 cats. Now, what we come to find out was that he doesn't have 17 cats in his house. He has 17 cats that he feeds. So he just feeds stray cats. And when they come to his house, he just keeps feeding stray cats over and over again. And when he said he had 17 cats, Zadia looked like, what in the world? Like, I can't deal with this, right? Basically, I can't. How do you have time for 17 cats and deal with me? I'm not a cat person. Y'all can be a cat person. Even if I was a cat person, 17 cats are too much. Can you imagine the smell of that house if he had 17 cats in the house? Can you imagine? It is bad, right? It is very bad. But no, they had good vibes on their date. And she was willing to explore more with Ramon. We'll see how that goes. They set Ashley up. Ashley goes out on another date with Justin, right? Justin is the 35-year-old hospitality director at a hotel. He loves family. He loves life, right? He loves his mama. He loves his dad. He loves his parents. He loves being able to talk with his parents. Ashley all up in his mouth said he got beautiful teeth. Justin was different from what we seen him out with, right? He was more engaging. The conversation was just a tad bit, a little bit better. He was deep with it, right? He was showing his emotional side. He said he was big on morals and principles and personality. He mentioned that him and he didn't mind seeing Ashley again. Um, and they were good banter back and forth, good laughter, good joy. She had a good smile on her face. Especially coming after this Donald date, she needed something different, or letting Donald go. She needed something different. So Justin was a different pace for Ashley. And he asked her, even asked her again, can I get your number? I want to talk to you. And she was obliging and willing to give him her number. Nothing major. It just was that, they had a good vibe from it. And then you see Sharice. Sharice goes out on another date. She goes out with a guy named Keith. Keith is a 50-year-old barber, right? A master barber. Keith is from New Orleans. Lived in New Orleans almost all his life. He was engaged before, never got married. He was very open and very forthright. He talked, he communicated, right? Totally different from Maurice, right? Totally different from Maurice. Keith was engaging, communicated well, was articulate, let her know his thoughts, his feelings, how he was in the relationship, how he has a counselor, how he has a coach, how he has a therapist, how he tries to get the second half of his life better than the first half of his life. And he has taken accountability for his failed relationships. They also had some O2 therapy. I never seen O2 therapy before. I thought it looked a little pretty cool. And they sat there and continued to converse. And Keith was a real gentleman, different from Maurice. A master barber. I just don't think him even if he's a master barber, unless he owns shops, I don't think he can match Maurice's money. I'm not trying to be in a man's pocket, but Sharice, to me, seems like she like bread. She like cheddar. She like cheese. She likes that green stuff. And he may not have as much green stuff as Maurice. Only time will tell. We'll see. But she did enjoy the conversation and the O2 therapy with my man Keith. Then we see Venetia. Next thing we see Venetia with Jabari. They had a local wine bar. And they're talking about, talking about in their relationship how Jabari is kind of like the process, right? He doesn't like the process. And I'm sitting here like, bro, how you not like the process of her going out on other dates? You know what the show is, right? You understand that this is a show that they go out with other people. This is how she got you, right? She picked you from day one, but you knew from day one it wasn't just going to be you and her. She couldn't just say, hey, you know what? I'm done with the process. Show's over. I found my man. We can keep it moving. He's not happy with the fact that she's going out over and over again. He mentioned that, hey, I stopped going out once I got in this process with you. I stopped going out with people. I'm just kind of exclusive to you. And that is fine, but you're not a former Ready to Love cast member. You didn't sign up for the show to move on with the process. And again, if you really understood Venetia and understood the conversation that she's had to everybody, she doesn't want to make the same mistake that she made in the previous show, which by sticking to the very first guy, what she did with Joel. So she wants to be committed to the process. She wants to see other people. She wants to be involved, going out on different dates. I'm not saying Jabari is insecure, but it's a little bit of insecurity there. Bro, you doing what you're supposed to do, then she'll continue to choose you, right? I understand it. Nobody wants to see that person they like or that girl they like going out with other people. He wasn't upset, but you can see that it bothered him. It was on his mind. It weighed on him a little bit. it is one of those things that you just have to do in the process. I hope she chooses him at the end, but only time will tell. We don't know who else Tamika sit Venetia up with and go out on date with, but Jabari just not feeling the process. And Venetia was trying to tell him, look, hey man, do what you got to do. If you need some more people to go out with, hey, go out with more people, right? If it makes you feel better, dude, we're in a process. I'm dating other people. I'm selecting people. I'm choosing people. So it may be something different for me. So let me do what I do. All right. Let me do what I do. But again, she and him had a great conversation. I like the fact that they open and they can communicate with one another. They're not hiding each other. You can see that they're about their grown man and grown woman business. All right, here we go. Then we see Cameron and Zadia, right? Cameron and Zadia, Zadia's keeper, as they want to keep calling it. They go on a glass art date. And you see, and they was making art with glass, right? And you can see he has helped Zadia the whole way in this date. He's very helpful. He was help cutting that glass and help breaking things up for, help organizing things, giving her compliments about her picture, her artwork, her creativity. He said he enjoys doing things like that. And they got on a conversation about money. Zadia says she wants somebody that can do well off, and she wants to work. She wants to be independent. She wants to have her own money, but she also wants to have a person who provides for her and have his money as well. She meant what she said, right? She wants his money to be her money, and she wants to be able to have all the money. And he's like, hold on with it. And he doesn't mind. Again, he said he wants to be a provider and wants his wife to be the person that he's with to be soft, right? I think I talked about this in the last video. This is great dialogue, great discussion to have. But man, don't mix money until you marry. If you want to mix money at all. Some people don't mix money. But if you can do it, wait till you marry. But these are great conversation and dialogue. The date was pretty good. You can tell he cares about her. He wants to be with her. He's showing this. We see a softer side of Zadia when she's out with Cameron. We start seeing her being more vulnerable with Cameron, just a little bit more, opening up when they're on this date. So you're starting to see a different type of Zadia, right? Not saying it was never there. I think it was always there, but based off what we've seen on the past seasons already, Love, there was always been some things to ignite her emotion, her attitude, right? But now she's trying to focus on just, again, this date. She got past the drama with Charisse, and she's just focusing on Cameron. Now we see, now we move on. We go see Ashley and Kirsten. They go to a mixology class, and we know that Ashley is a bartender in Atlanta, so she gets the opportunity to show her skills off. This is where the date takes a turn for the worse, right? You're out with Kirsten. She really wanted you dropped Donald to go out with Kirsten, and you really wanted to be Kirsten. And now you can see the hurt and the vulnerability and the insecurity of Ashley. Okay, she talks about in this date. Oh, I heard you went out with Zadia. Now let's be honest. I'm sitting here like, hold up, wait a minute. Why are we even talking about Zadia in this situation, right? I'm feeling like Kirsten. Like, why are we talking about Zadia? I'm out with you. Zadia's out with Ramon. Zadia has Caleb. We know y'all talk in the house. She just mentioned, you went out with Zadia. You told her that she was breathtaking and that you just had to take it all in. Who cares, right? Who cares? Why do you care? He is out with you. You're trying to woo this man. You're trying to see if he's a keeper. He's trying to embrace you. He's trying to see if he's going to stay with you. And you're talking and you're wasting time talking about another woman. You're talking about Zadia. I feel like maybe she's intimidated by Zadia, right? She's intimidated by Zadia's looks and Zadia's feel. Zadia has no intention to be with Kirsten. She didn't call him back. She stayed with my man Cameron. So again, Ashley, pump your brakes. Hold up. Wait a minute. Foul on the play. Pump your brakes. Be in the moment, right? You're turning her attitude and her constant pushing about Zadia had turned Kirsten off a little bit. He's like, this is only our second date. You want us to be exclusive? I'm still getting to know you. The first date was fun. It was energetic. It was great. But slow down, shorty. Ashley. Slow down. Slow down. You're trying to hook your wagons, latch on, make sure this guy's the one, and this is only your second date. You're still in the middle of the process. Slow it down. Get to know him. Just the first day was laughter and fun, and he's telling you to slow down. He's like, "Yo, relax. Let's move into this thing slowly. Let's get our feet on the ground. Let's move, understand each other." They finally get to a resolution. They finally start having great conversation, and she finally started to understand who he was, and he's starting to understand who she is. But she could have turned this thing to the left. I'm not saying that she hadn't done any damage to her and Kirsten's relationship. Only time would tell. But she came in like, okay, I dropped. Basically, what she came in was, I dropped a good man for you, and I want you to be my man. I want you to be my boyfriend. Basically, like, okay, I let a guy go. I let Donald go. He was good. He made a mistake, but I let him go. So if I let him go, I definitely got to choose you. You definitely got to choose me. Doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. She's latching on real quick. You can see her energy and how she's all over the place. When it comes to relationships, she needs some help. and she may have turned Kirsten away with all this. But then we go on and we see Maurice and Charisse. Man, they wanted to go play tennis, but it rains. They went to play tennis in the rain, so they end up at a restaurant. And she said her hope is that when we get to the restaurant, if we can play tennis, we're more in activity wear or active wear, that maybe, just maybe, he'll open up more. Just maybe we'll have more of a deeper conversation. Just maybe that he'll be able to say more than 2 or 3 words. Just maybe that I don't know how dude's a lawyer. Because I thought most lawyers were talkative. Maybe he's on the reverse, because I talk all day at work. I don't feel like talking in my relationships. I don't know. But I'm a talker. I like to talk. And I'm out hanging out with family, friends, people I don't know, meet you the first time. We're conversing. This dude doesn't say 2 words. He gets a plate. Matter of fact, they get their food. He eating off her plate. And I looked over to Jack like, yo, Jack, is he eating off his plate? Eating off her plate. He's like, yeah. She's like, yeah, she eating off her plate. I thought Sharice gonna blow a gasket. She was real nice with like, you know, he said, yeah, it looked good. Bro, you crossing boundaries. Talking about crossing boundaries? There's a boundary to cross, that you eat off somebody's plate and you didn't even ask, right? Whether you're paying for the food or not, which you're probably not. The show's probably paying for it, but nonetheless. Cross boundaries. And he still really didn't say much of nothing, right? He has a sense of confidence like, oh, she ain't gonna let me go. I've been here for a while. I'm good. She's good. Not knowing that she's, and you know, she asked him, how do you feel about me going on other dates? I don't worry about it. Don't bother me at all. Dude's dry. She's not getting what she needs, right? She got more from Keith, the master barber, than she ever got from Maurice. And they've been on like 3 or 4 dates. Now, again, Sharice says communication is a key. He's not communicating. So here's the question. Why is she keeping him? Is it the money? Is it the prestige? Is the fact that he got Louis Vuitton slippers and a Louis Vuitton black vest? What is the reason that she's keeping this dude? If communication is something that she's into, communication says something that she likes, but this guy doesn't communicate very well with her. And she said she's been in past relationships where most people didn't communicate. Say, okay, Sharice, you see the red flags. You know what the red flags are. Are you going to do something about it? Are you going to let Maurice go? Are you moving on? Only time will tell, because we didn't get to it this episode, right? We didn't get to Sharice's decision this episode, whether she was going to keep, who she was going to keep around, and who she was going to keep around, who she was going to let go. We do not know. We see Dr. Tracy, Dr. Tamika, let's ain't put a ring on it. Dr. Tamika can tell the ladies that they're going to have to bring the men to the house, the keepers to the house, and let them know if they're keeping them or letting them go. We see Venetia talk to Jabari. And they talk again about I don't want to say the words jealousy, about the process. And she said she could keep him around. And he was grateful. She's like, girl, stop playing. Real grateful that he was kept around. And I think they might end up together, but they are some people that's in play, right? There are some people that have been some people who's been in play. But right now, Venetia and Jabari she's feeling him, he's feeling her, and she's doing what she said she hadn't done. and that she didn't want to do. She's sticking with the first guy. But again, if he's the guy, and Dr. Tamika said it, if he's the guy, then let him be the guy. But you guys just enhance and grow your relationship. Zadia talks to Cameron, talk about how great time she's enjoying the date with him, how she enjoyed their dates, how they're communicating very well, how they're getting along, how they're enhancing, how they're moving in the right direction, and she really enjoys being with him. So she tells Cameron, "Hey, you know what? You're a keeper. I'm going to keep you as well." And that's how the show ends. The show ends with us only getting Venetia and Zadia's decision that their keeper, the ones that are up in the air, is will Charisse keep Maurice, even though he's not a talker, but Keith was, and will Ashley keep Kirsten, or will she go to Justin, who she had a very good time with? We'll see next week. Next week on the episode, their past castmates, right? Friends are supposed to be coming to the show to help them choose a person or help them see the person that they're with. So enjoying the show. Y'all let me know what you thought about this past episode of Ready to Love, Make a Move. Your thoughts on Ashley. Is she moving too fast? Is she scaring people? Your thoughts on Charisse. Is she staying just for the money? Is Venetia making a mistake by just sticking with the same guy, Jabari? And has Zadia changed your heart and mind by seeing her and let her walls down? You leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what your thoughts is. Once again, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. I appreciate you guys for watching. You guys have a great time. Whether you're watching this in the morning, afternoon, or at night, enjoy. Talk to you later. Peace.